Yo, what's up, guys? How you guys doing today? Hope you guys are having a wonderful day, a beautiful Sunday. Today I'm gonna do a tier list of my favorite Indiana Jones movies. Now I know I normally don't talk about Indiana Jones, but Indiana Jones is literally my favorite movie of all time, or favorite franchise in that matter. And since Dial of Destiny is coming out next month, right? Yeah, next month. I wanted to talk about it, or at least I hope it comes out next month. I know they've been saying it's moving up, or a little bit sooner than usual. I don't know, but I've been seeing a whole lot of trailers. I'm super hyped for it, and yeah, I'm just gonna give you guys my honest opinion on each five or four of the movies, since there's only four currently right now. But yeah, I'm gonna give you guys my honest opinion of Indiana Jones movies. So I am gonna go in depth for this. So sorry if this video is very very long, but I want to get into the nitty gritty of these movies because honestly, this is my own opinion, and this is my own tier list. If you guys don't like my opinion, then you feel free to tell me in the comments down below. Also, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and click the notification bell down below. If you guys want to see more tier lists or more videos like me talking right now, I'd probably be talking about Indiana Jones Dial of Destiny maybe next week, actually, or this coming week, because it's getting a whole lot closer. Maybe in the start of June. I don't know. But anyways, yeah, we're gonna... Hey, let me fix this, because they did this all wrong. Whoa, 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 whoa. Put that right there. Put that right there. And put that right there. Why is Temple of Doom not... Thank you. Okay. Because it was in a random order, so... We're gonna put this in a tier list. I don't know why they put you haven't watched this movie. Why would you? I know what they did. They put Kingdom of the Crystal Skull at F tier. They put like etc. So there's only four movies. I don't know why the heck they made like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like 7 fucking areas, but whatever. Okay, so the start of we're technically gonna go in We're gonna go chronological order. Sorry, I can't talk. But. So yeah, we're gonna go chronological order. Why can I not say that word? But yeah. So the first movie, technically speaking, is Temple of Doom. Temple of Doom is the movie that he started out his adventures pretty much, and he was more cocky. He was more not focused, basically. So I'm not gonna go like fully into the movie, but just because like this movie was more bloodier than it was in, at least for the first and third one. But other than that, this movie had something different and more wacky and more of a... It kind of drove away from the religion act. Basically, it was just going for voodoo and etc. If you guys haven't seen Temple of Doom, watch it. It's a really good movie. I think it's a really good movie. But Temple of Doom is, I would say it's like an A tier, just because it was a memorable movie, but it wasn't an S tier movie. Now, the only thing that could put it in an S tier, it was the fact because Willie Scott kind of just brought this down. Not only that, like technically he didn't need her in this movie, but so happened, because they need a love interest in these movies. So yeah, that's pretty much it. But this is the first technically chronologically Indiana Jones movie, so it is an A tier. Chronologically, it was probably a really good movie, or it is a good movie. But chronologically, it was just it was younger Andy. Like he was gonna do mistake. He was gonna have mistakes. He was learning new things. Not to like do this, do that, blah blah blah. So it was a really good movie. Raiders of the Lost Ark. Raiders of the Lost Ark. I can't talk today for some reason, especially when I talk really fast. So I'll try to slow it down a little bit. So Raiders of the Lost Ark is the very first movie that's ever been made for Indiana Jones. But chronologically, it's the second movie. So, yeah. Raiders of the Lost Ark is the OG one. So you have to put this one in the S tier. The only reason why is because, for one, it literally matured Indiana Jones. Not only that, it showed a lot of, like, more of his intellectual mind, I guess, if that makes more sense, because he straight up found out the specific measurements of a stick or the rod for the medallion. Not only that, finding where the ark is. So this one's one where he's intellectually using his mind and just finding a piece of an artifact from biblical times and just finding it in the dirt, basically. Not only that, like, this is the OG one, so you're gonna remember the iconic scene with the boulder, and not only that, the iconic scene where he, the swordmen try to fight him, and ends up just shooting him in the first place, and just the dedication in this movie. And it was I think this is the first movie that Harrison Ford was in, I think. But I'm gonna be a little bit biased, but because this is a really good movie, and it ages like fine wine, because this is a pop culture classic. Raiders of the Lost Ark is an S tier. If nobody thinks that, then I don't know. Now, these are the two movies that everybody's gonna basically get like very heated about. So here's the thing: I don't really care for the third movie, The Last Crusade. It really honestly showed me that this was a 2-hour movie, and it just kind of wasted like almost an hour of my time, and it didn't need to be that long. So the only reason why is because Indy's dad, Henry Jones, it dragged it down a little bit. He was a little, now that I rewatched this movie though, like not too long ago, he's a really good actor. I love the actor of Henry Jones, the dad. But the thing is that it's just, it kind of made him just a person that kind of just dragged Indy down a whole lot. But it did show a lot that Indy didn't want to lose his dad, so he was willing to risk it all to save his dad. So that it did put it up to, instead of being a B tier, it did put it at A tier. I'm not gonna put it S tier because it's just not my favorite movie. But it did go back to its roots. So Temple of Doom is basically just going off of voodoo, and not only that, more what's the word, satanic? I don't know how to say it, but it went from different from Raiders of the Lost Ark because it was more a Christianic type of thing, and same thing as for Last Crusade, is more religious type of thing. But yeah, Last Crusade, that is not my favorite one, to be quite honest with you. Now I know people are gonna say like, oh, like why would you put it at B tier in the first? As it's just because like the dad scene, and not only that, like he kind of bagged on Indy a whole lot, and it just, oh man, it was so foolish to kind of just smack him, beat him like a child. It just felt wrong, like he already went to two adventures already. He's been through a whole lot. He's almost been mind controlled by this weird voodoo guy, or whatever the hell it is, this crazy cult guy. And not only that, like he's seen some shit from the Lost Ark, the Ark. So it's insane to me that if they're going for a holy grail, and that's not really like kind of a thing, I guess. It's the cup that Jesus drank out of, but I don't think that's a really good movie. I didn't think so. So, but I am gonna put it at A tier just to be nice, but it's not my favorite movie. Now, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Now, people are gonna hate me for this one. So, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is actually one of my favorite movies because, for one, it had the Temple of Doom vibe. It didn't have the religious, thing. It didn't add extraterrestrials in here, so it didn't add aliens and all this bunch of stuff. But it did have the older age of Indiana Jones. Not only that, this was technically my introduction to Indiana Jones franchise. Now it's going to be a little bit biased, but it's not going to be S tier, by the way. It's not going to be S tier. It's going to be an A tier. I want it to be an S tier, but I'm going to be nice enough because I already put Last Crusade in A tier. But I don't know. I'm going to surprise you. So, well, I'm going to point out the reasons why I think this is the better movie than The Last Crusade. For one, it drove away from the religion and stuff like that and went somewhere that we technically wouldn't use for a character for aliens. especially Indiana Jones, because Indiana Jones, obviously you've seen the other three movies, and it's more religion than anything. So extraterrestrial beings wasn't a thing to talk about, especially because during the time, when did this movie come out? Let me see. I know this came like in like 2012, 2010, somewhere around there. Oh, 2008. So okay, yeah. Yeah, sure. I know this movie was like around like Transformers, like the first Transformers movie. So yeah. So this movie, it went, because I know in 2008 this is when like aliens were kind of just like, it was a hot take in movie production. So it was really cool to see Indy basically branching off from religion to extraterrestrial. That's why Dial of Destiny, I think, is like one of the reasons why the movie's going to be the same thing as Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, because it's not going to be good, it's not going to be great, but it is going to like kind of branch off of the movies that was the original ones. But I don't think Dial of Destiny is going to be horrible. At least I hope not. But Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is one of those movies where it did branch off, and it introduced the Indy can explore more than just Christian or religion type of adventures, and just go off of just like aliens. So yes, this is the first movie that I've been introduced to. The second movie I've watched was Raiders of the Lost Ark, because that was my favorite one, because that's the original one. The third one is actually Last Crusade and then Temple of Doom, because Temple of Doom I wasn't technically old enough to watch, because it had blood and it had like a lot of like satanic things that my dad didn't want me to watch and my grandpa to watch. So yeah. But Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was really good. I did like Shia LaBeouf in it. I don't know why people didn't really like him in this movie. I think this was when Shia LaBeouf was at his peak. I don't get why people didn't like him. I honestly don't. I genuinely don't get why they didn't like him so much. This is like probably like the only one where I believe Shia LaBeouf actually shined in this movie and kind of just, like showed his acting skills. Not only that, if you guys didn't know this, in the bonus features of this movie, because I own this movie physically, the knife flip or whatever, he actually learned that himself. Like, he was just doing this offset, and supposedly they just kind of filmed him doing it. So it's kind of cool to see that, because I know it's not like really amazing to really like talk about, but it's interesting that an actor that has a certain skill, they recorded it, and that's like interesting to me. Not only that, I had this double agent thing with Mac that just kind of it was like, wow, like like you can't really trust anybody, Not only that, they brought back Marianne, and then ends up being Shia LaBeouf's or Mutt Williams' mom, and Mutt Williams ends up being Indy's son, or dad or son. And it was just a really good chemistry, with Mutt Williams and Indy, because they both had that father-son type of thing, until like later in the movie they're like, oh, like you're my son, you're my dad, and then just kind of it was really good chemistry that I really liked. Not only that, the jungle scene was probably my favorite scene. I'm saying a lot of but yeah, it was just my favorite scene in general. And also the nuke scene, the Nuketown scene. When did Black Ops 2 or Black Ops 1 come out? Sorry. Call of Duty. Whoa. When did that movie come out? Or game come out? 2010. Came out on November 9th, 2010. Wow, 2 whole years after the fourth movie. Oh, okay. I thought it'd come out like 2009. Dang. Okay. Making me feel a little old. But when I picture the Nuketown from Black Ops, I picture Indiana Jones. That's like the only reason why I love that map. But yeah, I'm gonna put this because I love this movie, and it was really kooky. It was a bad movie, but it held up. It was funny. It was good. Not only that, seeing Indiana Jones being older, and just seeing how like I was like I'm too old for this. Like I love that. I love that. I love like the fact because it. I love the subtle hints. It's because I'm old. Like you think I'm just a old dude. Like especially that scene where they go find the original Crystal Skull. Matt Williams says you're a teacher, and he's like part time, and I was like, that shows me his age. That tells me like, screw you about my age, I don't care, I'm a badass. So that's the reason why I like this movie. I know it was a really bad movie, but hear me out. If you legitimately watch this as an Indiana Jones movie, and as a fan, this movie held up. And I don't know why people didn't like this movie. I don't understand why. There was a lot of things that didn't add up. So like how did Indy and Marianne have a kid at the time? Yes, that's a valid point. Like how the hell did they have a kid? But it was a thing that it just, I don't know. Like this movie, I know I'm gonna be biased because it was my first movie, but besides that, it was a really good movie. I don't get people arguing about this movie because I've watched everything wrong about this movie and people rating this movie. I don't know what it is. It's just a really good alien movie, and not only that, it has my favorite character in it. I'll be nice still because it's gonna be an A tier. It's gonna be an A tier. It's not gonna go any lower than that. I'm sorry because it's just it's there's nobody dragged him down. See, this is the thing. Like, it kind of puts me wanting to put it in the S tier because nobody brought him down. In these movies, nobody really brought him down besides his own wife or girlfriend, Marianne, and Ox, which is his friend from an old professor. But yeah, it literally all these movies, it kind of just been dragged down by like the side characters and stuff like that. No. Mutt was the only one that was legitimately there to help him. Legitimately. Even though he didn't know squat about anything, he literally picked up Indiana Jones. And Indiana Jones took him to Peru, or to basically South America. And he just went along with the punches. He didn't care. He didn't complain. He didn't, blah, blah, blah. No. They full on all this, even Marianne in that example. Because Marianne, she was just a side character, she was just the damsel in distress. No, she actually had legitimately a part in this. And it was amazing to me because the only one that technically didn't do anything was Ox, which is the professor that, is not possessed, but kind of, messed up in the mind because of the skull. And not only that, it showed, a weakness to Indiana Jones. Because when he stares at the skull, it shows that he, not a weakness, but it shows how strong intellectually that he is. Because a alien head, if it's willing to mess up your mind or put a map into your mind, it's 10 times more smarter than you. And or Indiana Jones, he's able to stare at the thing for a good 3 minutes. So it's like, come on, I don't get why people didn't like this movie. I actually don't understand why people didn't like this movie. And I know I talk a lot about the fourth movie, but there's a whole reason why this movie just it should have been S tier all along, or at least A tier. I want to put it S tier because I'm just a biased person, but yeah, just because no characters really dragged him down, they legitimately helped him. They made him or helped him figure out puzzles or situations that he couldn't do by himself. So, especially in the jungle scene, Mutt Williams is actually fighting. He's actually doing something. He almost dies in the process. But at the end, he still makes it, come on. I think the only person that really kind of just, I didn't really care about was Mac, because he was a double agent type of dude and he cared for money. But other than that, it was just kind of it was a solid Indiana Jones movie. I don't get why people didn't like it. So, I mean, that's just my own opinion. Again, you guys can leave, controversy or conversation about this movie. But Indiana Jones 4 is a really good movie. I don't know why. I like the underdog movies, and that's one of the movies. It literally, this movie shows you that this movie has potential, if you're willing to watch this in a certain way. Now, if you're watching this as a movie fan, it's not that good. It doesn't hold up very well. But if you're watching this as an Indiana Jones fan and legitimately thinking about like, huh, okay. Now, the thing is though, sorry to be off topic. Now, the thing is that this movie didn't have the greatest CGI. And you got to remember too, this is 2008. So this is when CGI was kind of like very weird because, you know, Transformers was in 2007. So, yeah, this is when like CGI was kind of a new thing now, I guess, or like overused thing. So I know people are gonna talk about, but what about the not the meerkats, the groundhogs or whatever? You know, they look like shit, and how come, you know, Indiana Jones is able to survive the fridge scene? I mean, you guys are gonna complain about that scene. You guys are thinking about, you know, like the tank scene. Not only that, you know, like how did he survive the tank scene? You know, the tank like friggin' flew off, and somehow he survived that. Not only that, in Raiders of the Lost Ark, I don't know, this is gonna be weird because it's the first movie, but he's not supposed to survive that. The Ark, I know, you close your eyes, you know, and then you don't die. It didn't fucking matter, you know. You could have died, you know. It's God's power. He could just take you all he wants, you know. And not only that, in Temple of Doom, he could have died because of. There's so many people are nitpicking because of the fridge scene. There's 3 movies. The reasons why it's weird, you know, like duh, like there's so many scenes that he could have died. There's so many scenes that he could have blown up. There's so many scenes that so shut up, you know, just be quiet. If you're gonna bring up that scene, be quiet. You have no reason to talk about that scene. If it was a more ridiculous thing, like you got a gunshot wound and you just so happen, you know, like, oh, like I have a magical ability because, you know, blah blah blah, then yeah. But the thing is that they can't do that now because technically in Last Crusade he drank the water of the Holy Grail, so he has eternal life. So, you know, but other than that, yeah, I mean, yeah, it is a little weird that, you know, he's able to survive a fridge scene, but it's Indiana Jones. It's a movie, you know, like there's no such thing as aliens. At least I don't think so. So, sorry, I heard somebody. I thought I heard somebody. But there's no such thing as aliens and stuff like that. That was weird because when I said it, it was like the shower or whatever. But there's no such thing as aliens or something like that, or supposedly or whatever. But it just there's so many things that are in here that just, you guys are trying to take a realistic thing and try to make it, or you try to take it a realistic way, when in reality most of these movies are just fake. So, like, you know, there's no realistic thing that you can, maybe, I don't know, possibly you can mind control somebody. Not only that, there's no such thing as a Holy Grail in that matter. The Ark probably, the possibility could be a real thing. I don't know. But, yeah, it's a movie. They're not real. It's not based off of a real story, you know? Like, you guys gotta take this as, you know, a realistic movie from a fantasy movie. It's an adventure fantasy movie, so take it as you will. So, yes, it's not gonna be realistic enough for, you know, everything like that, but it's like, you gotta remember these movies are just, they're not meant to be like freaking top tier movies. They're really good pop culture movies. They're just, it's a memorabilia, you know? Well, yeah, this is my tier list. I'm happy with my tier list. I'm fine with it. I was nice enough to put, because if I didn't put Last Crusade in A tier, it would have been here. So, yeah, I know everybody's gonna be like, but why? But why? Because I just didn't really like the movie. It literally showed the 2-hour mark, and it was just dragging on, and I didn't really care, and I kind of skipped. When I was younger, I skipped, like, once Indiana Jones saved his dad, I skipped majority of that movie, so it was like a good 30 minutes. So I skipped the tank scene. I went all the way towards pretty much to the end, which is when he gets the Holy Grail, and that was it. Not only that, the Holy Grail, I think the booby traps for the Holy Grail was bullshit, by the way, because it was just a couple of them, like, one of them cuts in half, one of them, you know, smushes him, and etc. Like all the booby traps weren't like booby traps. They weren't like Raiders of the Lost Ark. They weren't really like well thought of. It was just some bullshit thing that we kind of just, oh yeah, like, you know, we're gonna have a couple booby traps. They weren't like that like hard to like, duh, you're walking through a freaking dark freaking hallway or whatever, you know, like there's gonna be booby traps. Not only that, you're looking for the holy grail of all time, so you know, it makes more sense. Same thing as the Crystal Skull, you know, like there's not booby traps, but there's just, you know, like traps in a way, I guess. You know, like the scene where they take up the sand blocks, you have to break them out and try to figure out a way to put those up. That was a really smart way to think. But in the Last Crusade, for like the heightened, or like the, what is the word? Just the thought of endangerment in Last Crusade compared to the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I didn't sense endangerment through the Last Crusade, because yeah, like if you don't go get the Holy Grail for me, I'm gonna kill your dad and kill you at the same time. So you either do this now or I kill you. So not only that, the Holy Grail booby traps weren't really that good. I mean, the only thing, I guess, like the only thing that was scary was like, you know, you had to find the correct Holy Grail. I guess that was like the most anticipated part. But you already know that technically Indy's gonna find the correct one, because honestly, it was in the riddle. So what did the knights say? You have chosen wisely. Blah, 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 blah. What does he say? I don't want to pull up a video because I. Oh, because it's the most humble one. So basically, all of them were. What it's basically saying is that so since all of them had, like, you know, jewels and all the pretty, you know, had all gold or silver, because the other, was it the Nazi guy? He chose the one that was the most, or the girl chose the most beautiful one. It wasn't the Holy Grail, but Indy decided to choose like the most ugliest one, but the most humble looking one, which is this, the crummy looking, you know, chalice. So yeah, that was the only sense. But you already knew that Indy was going to pick the right thing, so duh. But yeah, but I don't know, just this is my tier list. I'm happy with it. If anybody wants to talk about it, I can go on about this, but yeah, this is my tier list. Oops, sorry. What the hell? Why is this? Why am I having an issue here? I'm not. Yeah, that's my tier list. Now, Dial of the Destiny, I haven't even seen that movie yet, so or has it came out yet? So I don't know. Paramount, hit me up. I'd be willing to watch Indiana Jones. I'll watch it 5 times if I have to. I actually legitimately watched all these movies like 1,000 times. I've watched this more than. What's my favorite movie currently? Sonic 2. What's my favorite old movie that I kind of like think about watching, like the 80s type of movies? Back to the Future. I don't watch Back to the Future that much, but Indiana Jones is the one. Watch show. I'm making a shrine and everything like that, but you know, like I get some Indiana Jones stuff. I can't pick this one up though. Hopefully I can. I bought the new Lego Indiana Jones thing because I don't have the original one. So this is just the diorama of the scene where they find the Ark. Trying to be careful. So I don't have the other Funko Pop. I don't think there's an actual Funko Pop. I don't think so. But this is what I got. My girlfriend got me that one for Christmas. And she also got me the figure. But yeah. So I love Indiana Jones. It's my favorite movie. I do want a hat really, really bad. If I can get a PO box, that'd probably be the only thing I would ever like want in my entire life. I love the Indiana Jones hat. It's my favorite hat of all time, and I would never take that shit off. Like it's one of those things where it's just very iconic. It's very distinguished, and it's something different that nobody ever wears. So just it's really cool. If I was like in my 50s to 40 years old, that's the hat that I would be wearing. Like I wouldn't be wearing like bald cap or dad cap, whatever you want to call it, or what do grandparents wear nowadays? Probably just nothing. Probably just a regular baseball cap. But I would wear that in my 40s to 50 years old. So that's the hat. If I had the money, I would be willing to buy the Indiana Jones hat. I would never take that off. I would never. Like that hat would just be deteriorated. Like I would die with that hat. So I would be buried with the hat. So, I love these movies. All of them, technically, I could just do this. They're all S tier. They're all perfect. They're all perfect in their own way. You know what? That's how I'm gonna do it. They're all S tiers. They're all S tier. I'm telling you right now. Indiana Jones movies hold up very well. They're wacky. They're kooky. They're weird. They're interesting. They're sometimes dumb. Sometimes intelligent. Sometimes they're just like, what the fuck? And then, sometimes they're just like, oh, okay. That's what these movies are. If you guys are looking for good entertainment with action, with what is it? What's the word? I want to say intelligent, or not intelligent, but like Da Vinci's Code type of thing. These are the movies. These movies are really good. Harrison Ford is my favorite actor of all time. Now the thing is that for one, I know like people. I've been saying this a lot, like who's my favorite actor, but no, Harrison Ford is legitimately my favorite actor of all time. Paul Walker and Jim Carrey and what's his name? Kurt Russell, the one that plays Great Lebowski, right? I think that's Kurt Russell, and he was in Tron Legacy or in Tron. Chris Pratt is also one of my favorite ones. Pietro Pascal is actually kind of my favorite one too because he plays the Mandalorian. And I also want to see that movie that he's with Nicolas Cage. Andrew Garfield's also one of my favorite ones. Tom Holland's one of my favorite ones. Tobey Maguire is not. There's like so many actors, but Harrison Ford tops them all because he's been in Star Wars, he's been in Indiana Jones, he's been in like numerous amount of movies. Not only that, in one of my top 10 movies, Cowboys and Aliens. See, that's a movie that's kind of just like, it's weird. It doesn't make any sense. But those at the time, this movie, when did Cowboys and Aliens come out? You guys gotta watch that movie. That movie's really good. I love that movie. And not only that, the guy that plays James Bond is in it. And it's really cool. 2006. Oh my gosh. This movie came out 2 years before Indiana Jones Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. So yes, go watch this movie. This movie is so good. I love this movie. Wait, is it an actual book? Is it a book? Is it a book or is it a novel? I don't know. I didn't know it was a book. Now I'm kind of interested now. It's a graphic novel. What? I didn't know it was a graphic novel. I always thought it was a movie. Wow. I didn't know that. Well, But yeah, this movie was really good. I love Harrison Ford. I love cowboy movies. I love the westernized movies. I love those movies. I grew up watching Clint Eastwood, mostly Harrison Ford, but I love Harrison Ford being a cowboy-esque type of character. I love him. He's so, to be quite honest, if I had to choose anybody like by peak wise, Harrison Ford would be my daddy. Just letting you know, because he's a really sensitive man. He's pure American, like he speaks America. He's such a heartfelt actor. I love him very, very much. I hold him too dear to my heart. If he died, I would be there at his funeral if I could. I want him to be my basically my grandfather if I could have that. You know, if there's any choice that I could have, Harrison Ford would be my grandfather or my dad in that matter. He's one of my favorite actors of all time. And what the hell? I'm not gonna even look at that. Harrison Ford. Yeah, see, I was looking at motivational quotes. I love Harrison Ford. Look at this man. This man is pure beauty. I mean, he's playing as Han Solo. Han Solo is my favorite Star Wars character. Who the hell is that? Who the fuck is that? I don't know who the hell is that. But dude, he's old now, and it's so insane to see him. Like, man, dude, he was such an amazing actor, dude. I love him to death. He's my favorite actor of all time. I know I'm going off of like topic from Indiana Jones movies, but Harrison Ford, he's a brilliant man. He's a strong man. He is 82 years old, right? He's 82 years old. He's like 80 something, right? Yeah, 80. Dang, I was like pushing it. So yeah. Oh, he was also in Blade Runner too. I forgot. Yeah, he was in Blade Runner. I watched the original Blade Runner. I watched the new one too. Not very good. I want to watch Air Force One. I forgot about that. And not only that, he's in Captain America, Star Wars movie 42. I didn't know he was in 42. The Call of the Wild. I love that movie. That was a really good movie that I watched with my dad. I didn't know he's in Expendables 3. At least I don't remember. Ender Games I haven't even watched. I'm sorry, I'm going off of like everything. He's in Anchorman? I remember seeing him in Anchorman. I have to rewatch that. Huh. Interesting. Thunderbolts. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Harrison Ford is my favorite actor. Just letting you guys know, if I could have a day and a time with this man, at least just have a coffee with him. I don't drink coffee. Or just have a day with him, a dinner. Dude, I have so many questions and so many, like, I would want him to sign my chest. I want him to sign my forehead. I don't care. I love that man. That man is my favorite. You guys don't understand. Like, if I saw Harrison Ford, I would go on my knees and cry. That's how much I love Harrison Ford. And I never talk about this, and this is my only time to talk about Harrison Ford in this video. I love Harrison Ford. He's my favorite actor. If any movie can have Harrison Ford in a Western movie, put him in there. Why the frick are you not putting him in there? He's such a good actor. I love him. He's a pure man. He's pure American man. Not like the American now, but like, you know, he's a pure American, you know? Like, I love him. He's just, oh man, dude. I would want him to be my grandfather. Not saying that, you know, like, I don't have really good grandparents, but, you know, I would want him to be another. I have like a lot of grandparents, so I want him to be my other grandpa. So, yeah. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. I love talking about Harrison Ford, especially my girlfriend hates it when I talk about it. But yeah, I love these movies. These are dearest to my heart. This is the tier list. They're all S tier. They're all good. They're all good in their own way. But typically, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, Temple of Doom, and Last Crusade are like literally in that order. That's the way that I would put it in order. Last Crusade is last because I just didn't really like that movie. But this is my tier list. So I hope you guys leave a like and subscribe. And let me know if you guys like Harrison Ford. I love Harrison Ford. I love Indiana Jones. I actually wanted to be an archaeologist when I was younger, but I just never went to college and just, I don't know. Like, I didn't have the money. Not only that, I had to grow up a whole lot sooner. But if I had a choice in life to restart my life, I would want to be an archaeologist. And I know somebody that I used to work with that was an archaeologist, and she legitimately did this type of thing. Like, not booby traps or anything like that, but she would actually go to the temples, investigate them, and see if there's anything new. That's really cool. I know a lot of people that are archaeologists, and they tell me about their adventures across. They went to Egypt recently, so they worked at SeaWorld at the time. They were in Egypt. It was interesting, you know, like they investigated the pyramids, they investigated a whole bunch of stuff in Peru, and not Peru. Not Peru. I can't remember, but I know I know for specifically she told me about Egypt and stuff like that, trying to investigate into like pyramids and stuff like that. But yeah, seeing an archaeologist side is amazing. Not only that, and my girlfriend hates me for saying this, I'm gonna say this on video. Indiana Jones inspired Alan Grant from Jurassic Park. They look the same. They seem the same. I mean, think about it. Indiana Jones doesn't really like kids so much. Alan Grant doesn't like kids so much. Not only that, they wear technically the same hat. So yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys hopefully next time. Alrighty, guys? Alrighty, guys.